Hello. So what is going on with the Polar Express layout today? Apart from a jumble of parts laying all over the place, it is paving day. I'm paving a roadway that will go all the way around the layout. I've used the Polar Express layout as a way to kind of give you an example of a product from Woodland Scenics that's part of their road system, and that is pave tape. It is used to form the edges of the pavement that you're going to lay down. You can look here closely, you can see I've got the pave tape laid down here along all the way around. Now, because I'm probably not nearly as good as the folks at Woodland Scenics when it comes to laying this, I've also put down some paint masking tape around the edge, because inevitably, for me at least, it overflows. The product, the plaster product, overflows and gets onto the sides. And there are some places where that's okay, I really don't mind, and it'll be incorporated into the landscape. And there are other places where I definitely do mind, and I don't want that happening. I kind of like this Harrison's hardware store a lot here, with the little old dog laying out, sleeping on the sidewalk out front. Eventually that will actually be a sidewalk, concrete painted, and that will be a later step. But in any case, I'm using a product from Woodland Scenics called Smooth It. That's part of their road system that ostensibly makes a very smooth plaster that allows you to get a smooth pavement that you can then paint with either a concrete color or an asphalt color. And I'll probably be using both as I go along here. At least that's my present intention. I've got quite a bit marked out to pave today, so I'm going to get started and do some of that. And then I'll come back and show you kind of where I'm at after I get through with the first or the next round of paving. So hold on tight, I'll be back in a little bit. One thing I'll point out at this point in the video is that the directions for Smooth It say to let it stand in cold water for 2 minutes and then stir for 2 minutes. And they mean what they say. You really need to do that. You need to follow those directions, time it, make sure you're doing the right thing and getting the right amount of time in there, because if you fail to do that, you're going to end up with a mixture that's just not going to work very well. So it's a 2-to-1 mixture of Smooth It into cold water, and then let it stand for 2 full minutes in the cold water, and then stir for 2 full minutes. And then you're ready to lay down your pavement. Okay, I am going to call it quits for the day with the paving project. You can see I got a long way around, but not quite all the way. And also I've got some spots I'm going to have to patch up later on. If you look right here, you can see a lot of bubbles popped out of this little section right in here. So they make little pit holes that have to be patched. So I'll get on with that next, and I'll finish up that last remaining piece down there when I do that. And in a few places here, it needs some more touch-up, a little touch-up around here and there, a few spots. And I'll also, when I come back and mix another batch of the Smooth It to do the touch-up, I will finish up in the parking area that I've got in front of the stores, parallel parking in front of the post office and the Harrison's Hardware. I will finish up that, getting that kind of smoothed out and leveled. Also, after this has had a chance to dry, there's a parking lot for the boarding platform. That also has some bubble holes in it that'll have to be patched. Once this is all dried and I go through and do the patching, and then that dries completely, then the next step is sanding it with 200 grit sandpaper. There will be a few spots that are high where I might have dropped, got a drip on it on top of something, a few spots that just are high because the layout had a lot of plaster in that spot. And I will go through and I'll sand it with 200 grit sandpaper. This crossing of the railroad tracks here, that I also did not get to this time, so I'll get to that. And at the same time I'm doing that, I'll take out that little curb that you see. This is a temporary curb I put there in order to be able to smooth it where the turnoff is into the crossing over the railroad tracks. I'll peel that back, and then when I do that, I'll have that whole section all done in one go. Also, one of the things I probably should have said something about earlier is that in doing this, first step that I did before I did it was to take my little hand vacuum cleaner and run through everything and vacuum off dust and dirt and debris, anything that needed to be removed. Buildings, cars, things like that, not in the right places yet, not where they're going to be permanently. That'll wait until we get further along with the layout. But for now, this is where I'm at, and I'll try to finish up the roads and the parking areas, and then I will move on to the next phase in this build, which will continue to occupy me probably for quite some time yet. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and share. Also appreciate any comments, any feedback, anything you'd like me to add on, or any suggestions you have for something that I might be doing wrong here in using the Woodland Scenics Smooth It that you might know how to do better. I appreciate your time. Thank you.